She put her phone on the island and forgot the speaker was still on. I walked in with a bag of groceries, heard Tasha laugh, and then my wife's voice, flat like a board meeting. I control him with one thing. Her friends cackled. The sink dripped twice. I set the bag down, shoulders steady, and watched her face freeze when she realized I'd heard the whole sentence. If I'd known where it was headed, I'd tell you over a beer. I would have grabbed only the eggs. The rest was already cracked. She reached for the phone. That came out wrong. Usually does, I told her. What's the one thing? Don't be dramatic, she replied, sliding the screen dark. We were joking. Then it'll be funny later, I answered, stacking groceries. Right now it's data. Tasha texted a string of laughing faces. My wife put the phone face down, too late to erase the tone that stuck to the room. Are you going to make this a thing? She asked. I'm going to watch what's already a thing, I replied. And I'm going to adjust. She folded her arms. Meaning you just told your friends you pull my strings. If that's true, you just lost the strings. If it's false, you'll be fine. She studied me like I was an invoice she didn't want to pay. You're blowing up over nothing. Not blowing up, I told her. I'm choosing where the power outlets go. She rolled her eyes, grabbed her keys, and left for Pilates. The eggs didn't break. I cooked them, ate alone, and booked a Tuesday and Thursday night boxing class at the rec center. Those had been our maybe nights. I made them mine. I also opened a separate debit card tied to my account for my own discretionary money. No speeches, just new plumbing. She didn't notice. Not yet. The next morning she acted as if the sentence never happened. I loaded the truck with tools for a job and poured coffee into a travel mug. She scrolled at the island. We still on for the couple's dinner Saturday? She asked without looking up. No, I replied. I canceled. I'm working late and then hitting the gym. She blinked. You didn't check with me. Right, I said. I'm done asking permission to use my time. That's not what this is, she pushed back. It's called planning. It's called planning when both calendars matter, I told her. Lately ours looks one way. We agreed to be more present, she said. I'm present, I replied. I'm just not a performer. Different words, big difference. She set the phone down. Are we really doing this? Over one sentence on a call where we were venting. I'm doing it over a year of cold snaps, I answered. The sentence just turned on the light. So now you're punishing me, she said. Wrong word, I countered. I'm adjusting to the market. You control supply, I adjust demand. That's how adults do it. That is so petty, she shot. I took a sip and leaned against the counter. Petty is changing tone every time I don't jump fast enough. Petty is the points system that seems to live in your head. I'm fresh out of petty. She stood, palms up. Point system. You want examples? I asked. Fine. Last month you froze me out for 3 days after I skipped a committee meeting. Week before that, you turned warm for a weekend when I agreed to host your coworkers here. 2 months before, a week of distance because I worked overtime on a Friday. That's what I mean by a system. You're misreading, she replied. Sometimes I'm just tired. Then don't say you control me with one thing, I told her. Because tired doesn't need a keypad. She slid the chair back with a scrape. You're impossible when you get like this. When I get clear? I asked. When you get stubborn? She corrected. I like stubborn, I replied. Stubborn built the business and paid for this kitchen island. Stubborn will also keep my spine straight until you decide if you want a partner or a pet. She laughed once, humorless. So you're a victim now. I shook my head. I'm a man who will not negotiate oxygen. If something is basic, it's not a prize. I'm not playing a program where I do tricks for tickets. You're twisting everything, she said. Maybe, I replied. We'll test it. She looked at the clock. I have to run. We'll talk later. We will, I said. But not in circles. She left, and I adjusted more. Coming home that night, I made up the guest room with fresh sheets. When she narrowed her eyes, I pointed at them. Sleep, I said. Nothing punitive. I sleep better alone when the air's tense. We'll reset when the air's clean. That's ridiculous, she said. Comfortable, I answered, placing a towel on the chair. Ridiculous was pretending the cold snaps were weather. Her jaw worked. She didn't push. That was new. She tapped her phone, thumb flying. Upstairs, a door closed softly. I pictured 3 women chuckling over a line about one thing and booked another session at the gym for Saturday morning. Then I texted Evan from the shop. Hey, need me an extra hour on Friday? He did. Good. That pulled me out of the path she thought she owned. Saturday came with a neighborhood barbecue at the Wilsons. She had invited half her committee, and she wanted me to circulate as the supportive husband. I showed up in a clean shirt and a plain smile. Evan came too since he lives 2 houses down. He's a sharp guy with a dry delivery that makes people miss the knife. At the grill, Wilson handed me tongs. Your wife says you can't stay late. Early morning for you, huh? She speaks confidently about my calendar. I replied. I like her optimism. My wife glided over, sunscreen smell, committee clipboards in tow. Babe, remember we're leaving at 8. I promised we'd show our faces at Melissa's thing after. Evan raised an eyebrow. Double booked him, huh? She gave Evan a cool nod. Some of us have commitments. Some of us do. I answered, turning a rack of chicken. I'm staying here till the game. You're free to go at 8. Her smile thinned. We agreed. We didn't, I replied. You put it on the calendar and hoped I wouldn't notice. You're making me look bad, she said under her breath. You're doing fine on your own, I said back low. I'm just holding my own end. Tasha appeared beside her like a shadow with a solo cup. He's feisty. Must be his new routine, my wife said, fake light. He's on a kick. Evan took the cue. New routine looks good on him, he said. Boundaries fit. She turned to him. Stay out of it. Consider me out, he replied, stepping aside. But the man flipping the chicken is staying for the game. She leaned toward me. We'll talk about this at home. Talk right here, I answered, setting down the tongs. What are we, guests at our own life? If you want to go at 8, go. I'm not a prop. You're being selfish, she said. Or, I replied, I'm balancing the spreadsheet you've been running off the books. Tasha snorted. He thinks we're cooking the books on him. I looked at Tasha. I heard the call. Her eyes darted. We were kidding. Then laugh, I told her. I'm not hearing jokes. My wife's jaw set. Enough. We're going at 8. Evan took a sip, amused. You'll need a ride for that. She stared at me. I held the stare like a neutral wall. She turned on her heel and did a lap with her committee, throwing glances back as if sheer force could change my time. When 8 hit, she waved the keys. Now, she announced. Have fun, I replied. I'll lock up when I get home. Unbelievable, she muttered. Uber exists, Evan said. She left, spine straight, Tasha trailing with a look you give a dog that stopped doing tricks. I stayed, watched the game, shook hands, laughed with neighbors, and then walked home with Evan. On my porch, he asked, You sure you want to fight this fight? It's not a fight, I told him. I'm just not clapping on cue. He nodded. She's going to escalate. I know, I said. So will I. In the kitchen, a note waited. You embarrassed me. We will discuss tomorrow. I tossed it in the drawer with the takeout menus and filled out my own calendar for the week. Then I slept like a log in the guest room. The silence had weight, but for once it wasn't pressing on my chest. It was just quiet. The next morning she came in with coffee and a soft voice. I overreacted. That barbecue thing got away from me. Appreciate the coffee, I replied. I want us to be good, she added, hand on the back of the chair. I'll be better. That's a sentence, I told her. We'll see a pattern. She nodded quickly. Maybe we should plan a weekend away. Maybe we should plan a basic Tuesday, I replied. One where we don't trade normal for compliance. She looked wounded. I'm trying. I hear that, I said. Show me without a ledger. She hesitated, then set down a plate with toast. Eat. You're cranky when you don't. Not cranky, I answered. Focus. She forced a smile and left the room, thumbs already chasing a new audience. The coffee was actually good. The toast was warm. Illusion number 1. I didn't push it away, and I didn't cash it for anything. I ate, went to the gym, and came back to silence that felt like a stage waiting for the next act. By midweek, I found the stage directions. She left her tablet open on the dining table. A shared note sat in a folder called Home Systems. It had a list. Optics, charity, dinner, calendar visible. Base, chores consistent, intimacy aligned with mood. Leverage, remember scarcity works. Reward following the plan. Beneath it, a week schedule with my initials next to tasks and little stars next to nights. Some stars were blank circles. Some were filled in. 2 were crossed out with a note. Cold if he bails on Friday. I stood there a full minute. No dramatics, just looking. That wasn't a mood. That was management. Kill turns are quiet when you've been waiting for the click. This one clicked. She walked in, saw the screen, and froze. That's a draft, she said. I bet it is, I replied. It's not what you think, she rushed. It's exactly what I think, I answered. It's a flowchart. It's a tool to keep us on track, she said. You're impossible to schedule. This helps. Tools help both people, I said. This one rewards obedience. That is not fair, she snapped. Fairness would be you wanting me because you want me, I replied. Not because I hit the right boxes. You're twisting this, she said, voice rising. You're taking notes out of context. Context is the last 6 months, I answered. This is your controller manual. She reached for the tablet. I slid it away, calm. Stop it, she said. I'm not arguing, I told her. I'm done arguing. What does that mean? She asked, panic flickering. It means the lever is removed, I replied. I won't trade normal for access. I won't earn what should be shared. And I won't perform for optics. So what? You're moving out, she shot. I shrugged. We're going to test whether there's anything here without your instrument panel. Starting now. She pointed at the tablet. You're blowing this out of proportion. You'll live to love that line, I told her. Because proportion is about to be the new rule. That afternoon, I booked an Airbnb on the edge of town for a month, clean and simple. I texted Evan to move a couple deliveries so I could pack a small bag. I sent my wife a short message. I'm sleeping offsite for a while. This is not a stunt. It's a boundary. I'll meet you at a counselor's office Saturday at 10. If you're in, reply yes. No performative warmth, no optics. The condition is simple. Partnership without performance, mutual plans. Fix the base, not the image. If we can do that, good. If not, I'll sign out with respect. She texted back within 3 minutes. Yes. Then, I can't believe you're doing this. I replied, believe it. I'll be home at 5 to grab clothes and tools. When I came in, she was at the table with a catalog, too calm. So that's it, she asked. It's a beginning, I said. Let's see if you can talk without a scoreboard. You're punishing me, she tried again. I'm protecting myself, I answered. There's a difference. She followed me upstairs. So what do you expect between now and Saturday? I expect the same thing I'm giving you, I said. Civility. No games. No bargaining. And if I reach for you, she asked carefully. I zipped the bag. I'll hug you as my wife. I won't treat it like a coupon. Her eyes flashed. You're making this transactional. I'm naming the transaction you already started, I said. I'm taking my hand off the lever. She stood in the doorway while I packed, and for once there was no line to pull. Quiet again. I loaded the truck. She met me on the driveway. You're going to make me look abandoned, she said. No, I replied. You're going to feel the weight of actually negotiating with a person instead of a dial. She opened her mouth, closed it, and watched me back out. Saturday at 10 we sat in a small office with a clock too loud. The counselor, a middle-aged woman with a direct gaze, asked us to define the problem in a sentence. My wife jumped first. He's withholding to get his way. I shook my head. I stopped responding to being managed. Now I'm saying out loud what I need. The counselor looked at me. Say it. Partnership without performance, I told her. Mutual plans. Fix the base, not optics. If that can't happen, I'll end this without fireworks. But I'm not living inside a reward chart. My wife crossed her legs, heel tapping. He thinks he found evidence of some scheme. It's a note I made to organize chores and keep romance aligned with our calendar. Aligned how? The counselor asked. By not letting it get stale, she replied. By making sure he values it. Values it or earns it? I asked. She shot me a look. Don't twist. The counselor held up a hand. Let him finish. I don't need to earn what 2 adult people choose, I said. I need to be wanted, not managed. I want a teammate, not a manager. If we have a problem, we address it. We don't meter what should be organic. That's naive, my wife said. People need structure. Structure is fine, I replied. A scoreboard is not. The counselor watched her. What do you hear him asking? She sighed. He wants me to stop tracking. Tracking what? The counselor pressed. Everything, she said, exasperated. Time, effort, mood. He says I'm using access as leverage. And are you? The counselor asked. She lifted her hands. Sometimes you need, as a woman, to hold space. I looked at the counselor. You hear the code, right? The counselor nodded slowly. I hear control. I also hear fear. You, she turned to my wife, want predictability and image. He wants respect and autonomy. If you make closeness a carrot, you'll end up with a mule. Mules stop moving. He stopped. My wife flushed. So what? I just say yes whenever? No, I answered. You say yes because you want to, and you say no without turning it into a tool. You stop mixing it with chore charts. And you stop performing sweetness when you want compliance. That's rich, she shot back. You're the one who moved out. I moved out to remove your lever, I replied. I'm inviting you to meet me in the middle with actual change. The counselor cut in. Concrete steps. One each. I spoke first. Shared calendar where both entries matter. A weekly sit-down about logistics and us, not optics. No using access as a response to chores. We handle chores directly. My wife took a breath. We try that, she conceded. But I need you more involved with my committees. It matters. That's optics, I said. It's community, she returned. Pick one event a month, I offered. I'll go, fully present. The rest you own. She considered. Fine. And no jokes about rationing, I added. Fine, she repeated. I can do that. The counselor nodded. Try it for 30 days. If either of you uses closeness as leverage, call it as a foul. Once, calmly. We agreed. Outside the office, my wife took my arm. Lunch. Sure, I said. She surprised me. She was gentle, light, almost the woman I married. She asked about the shop, listened, laughed at my dry jokes. Illusion number 2, but she wore it well. That night, she texted a photo of the calendar with our weekly sit-down blocked. Then she sent a picture of takeout and a heart. I answered with a thumbs up. She replied with, call me when you get in. I did. We talked normal for 20 minutes. I went to bed thinking maybe the lever was pulled out of the wall. Monday morning, Evan popped into the shop with a smirk. Your wife brought brownies, he said. Told Marla you're a saint for working so hard. I walked out to the front. She stood by the counter with a tin and a big smile. Brought your guys something, she announced. Appreciated, I replied, taking the tin. She leaned toward me. Also the fundraiser Thursday. I need you there. We can make it our date night. Pick one a month, I reminded her. This is the one, she said. Wear the blue shirt. It photographs well. Optics, I replied, no edge. Her smile tightened. It's important. I'm at the gym Thursdays, I answered. We can do our date Friday. She stepped back. You said you'd try. And you said we'd stop treating us like a poster, I responded. Marla, my foreman, came forward, wiping her hands. We're slammed Thursday anyway, she said. He'll be here. My wife put on her committee voice. It's not a big ask. I looked at Marla. Block me till 9 Thursday, I told her. After 9, I'm free. My wife's eyes narrowed. That's not what I asked. It's what I'm offering, I replied. She set her jaw. Fine. 9. She walked out with a chilly breeze behind her. Marla watched the door. You okay? Perfect, I said. I'm not on a leash. Evan chuckled. Leash looks cut. It is, I told him. Thursday came. I worked till 9, showered at the shop, and drove to the community center. Inside, she glowed under lights, moving between small talk and photos. She saw me and dialed up the warmth, arms around my neck. There he is, she cooed. See? Teamwork. I hugged her. Partnership, yes. Performance, no. Just stand here with me, she whispered. Smile? They need to see we're solid. We are what we are, I replied. Anyone looking for a show can buy a ticket elsewhere. She held the smile for the cameras. Then on stage, she grabbed the mic to thank supporters. Mid-speech, she tossed a line that landed like a slap. I told him no more extra hours this week, she chirped. And look, he listened. A couple heads turned toward me. I didn't flinch. I waited until the applause fizzled, walked to the edge of the stage, and when she stepped down, I spoke in a voice just loud enough for the closest circle, quiet enough to make them lean in. New rule, I said. Public boundaries. Don't present me like a project. Last time. She blinked. It was a joke. Then the joke's on your plan, I replied. And I'm the one canceling the membership. Tasha materialized, perfume first. Don't be sensitive, she chimed. I met her eyes. I'm not sensitive. I'm finished. I turned and left. Outside, the air was cool. I didn't drive home. I went to my rental, turned my phone off, slept hard, and didn't spend 1 minute bargaining with a scoreboard. The lever was in a trash can somewhere. I wasn't digging. She texted the next morning, you embarrassed me again. We need to reset. Dinner tonight? I replied, we can do the sit down as scheduled Friday. Tonight, I'm with the guys. She hit me back with 2 words. Who are you? I sent one me. Friday night. The sit-down happened at our table. No committee voice. No stage lights. I set a small legal pad down. She smirked. Cute, she said. A notepad. It's called a plan, I replied. Remember those? Don't be smug, she warned. Then don't play me. I countered. How are you doing with the no scoreboard rule? I'm working on it, she said, jaw tight. I noticed the joke on stage, I said. That's not working on it. She looked away. I slipped. Then say that, I told her. And don't trade a hand on my arm for hours at your events. I apologized, she snapped. You perform sweetness, I said. Apology is singular. I was wrong. I'll stop. She drew a breath, let it out slow. Okay, I was wrong. I won't do that. I nodded. Good. She reached across, lay her hand on mine. Come home. I lifted my hand away, gentle. I will when I see the base, not a show. Her eyes cooled. So you're just going to string this out? I'm going to be consistent, I answered. Let me spell what that looks like. We're going to separate day-to-day money for a while. Household account for bills only. My discretionary stays with me. Yours stays with you. We split chores by a chart we both make, not by hints. And we stop trading closeness for compliance. If we can't do that, I'll lease a place and we'll call this a polite ending. Her mouth fell open. Separate money? That's insulting. It's clean, I said. It removes incentives to weaponize either of us. And how am I supposed to look, she demanded, if my husband moves out and everyone sees I couldn't keep my home together? I stared at her. You'll look like someone who tried to manage a person and got a door instead of a dog. Don't you dare, she whispered. Stop whispering threats, I replied. They don't work on me. Her phone, as always, was face down but hot. She flipped it quickly and slid it into her pocket. Not quick enough. A preview flashed. Tasha, if he wants more, keep it cool another week. He'll fold. I stood, walked to the sink, and rinsed my glass. Kill the group chat, I said. If you need a committee to manage your marriage, you're not in one. She reddened. You looked at my phone. I saw a sentence, I replied. I read fine. That's not fair, she said. Fair would be you unlearning keep it cool as a tactic, I said. But you like tactics more than truth. She shoved her chair back. Maybe you like drama more than me. I don't like either, I answered. I like respect. She folded her arms. So what now? Now, I replied, I keep my plan. Sunday I'll move more of my clothes. Monday I'm changing my benefits to individual for the quarter. Tuesday we keep therapy or we stop. Thursday nights stay mine. Any event you want me, it gets 1 vote a month. And if you do another public joke about rationing or obedience, I'm done. Not a threat. A fact. You're really going to end our marriage over a few jokes? She demanded. I'll end it over a system that treats me like a machine, I said. Jokes are just the soundtrack. She stared like she could will me into being soft. That man moved out a week ago. She hadn't noticed till right now. The next day, she tried one more tactic. She showed up at the shop with lunch for the crew and a promise. I booked a cabin for us next weekend, she said in front of Evan and Marla. No committees. Just us. Evan whistled. That sounds almost civilized. I looked at her. Cancel it, I replied. We're not buying peace with weekends. We're building it Tuesday to Tuesday. She swallowed. You don't even want to try. I am trying, I said. I'm refusing the cheap version. She rallied. Okay, Tuesday to Tuesday. Let me prove it. Good, I replied. Prove it by not punishing me when I pick me. She nodded. For 2 days, she was actually decent. We cooked together. We watched a game. She touched my shoulder passing by without asking for anything. Then Wednesday night, she asked for something anyway. I need you at the donor dinner tomorrow, she said softly. I won't speak. I just want you there with me. I told you Thursdays are mine, I answered. She smiled, too sweet. I'll make it worth your while. I laughed once. You just used the oldest coupon in the drawer. She stiffened. You know what I mean. I do, I replied. And I'm not redeeming it. Her eyes iced over. Then stay at your rental and sulk. I don't sulk, I said. I decide. She turned and went upstairs. A minute later, my phone buzzed with a calendar invite. Donor dinner 6 to 9. I declined. 2 minutes later, a text. You're being cruel. I put the phone face down and finished my sandwich. Thursday, I went to the gym, then the guys' poker night. No noise. No bargaining. No lever. At 9:30, after her dinner, she called. I answered. Happy, she asked, brittle. Peaceful, I replied. I had to answer a dozen questions about where you were, she said. That's not my problem, I told her. That's your optics. She hung up. The next morning, a message waited from an unsaved number. It was Tasha, apparently forgetting I don't erase anything. Good job holding out. She'll learn. I stared at the words and laughed out loud. This wasn't confusion. This was a team sport to them. And I was supposed to bring the mascot head. I texted my wife a final meeting time, Sunday 10 a.m. House. Last pass. She wrote back, fine. Sunday, I arrived at 10 with a calm I didn't have a month ago. She was already at the table, chin high, a neat stack of papers to make it look like a project she could win with organization. I'm not signing anything, she said. Good. I replied, sitting. There's nothing to sign. She frowned. Then what is this? This is me leaving. Well, I said. We tried. You ran plays. I removed the ball. You replaced it with another ball. I'm not here to coach you out of your habits. I'm done being managed. I'm moving my things today. You can't just, she started. I can, I answered. And I am. The key stays here till Wednesday. The utilities remain split for 30 days. After that, I'll send you what you need from the house account for bills through the end of the month. Then we're in separate lanes. I'll handle the paperwork without drama. You can tell your friends whatever helps you sleep. But I'm not in your stories anymore. She stared, stunned for the first real time. You're giving up on us. No, I said. I'm giving up on being trained. You're cruel, she whispered. I'm clear, I corrected. There's a difference. She stood, trying one last angle. What if I change? Right now? What if I promise no more jokes, no more tracking, no more anything you hate? We can reset. I hope you do change, I replied. For whoever comes next or for yourself. But I won't be measuring it. I did my last measurement this week. Her lips trembled, and she reached for the only tool she knew. Please, she said softly, stepping forward. Let me make it right. I stepped back. You're still offering a coupon, I said. I'm not interested. She pulled her hand away like it had been burned. You'll be back. No, I replied, standing. I don't come back to rooms where the thermostat is a weapon. That's not what I did, she snapped. That's exactly what you did, I said. And now you'll live in the weather you created. I walked upstairs, packed what was mine, and carried the boxes out to the truck. Neighbors were mowing and washing cars. Evan showed up, leaned on my tailgate, said nothing for a minute. You sure? He asked. I'm sure, I told him. Need help with the last dresser? He offered. Got it, I said. But stick around for a minute. We went back inside. She stood at the bottom of the stairs, arms crossed, a statue on a sinking island. I set the last box by the door and looked at her one final time. You put on a good show, I said. You learned the lines. But I'm not an audience. I'm a person, and I don't need what you're selling. She was silent. I put my house key on the table, slid it toward her, and added the sentence I'd saved for last. I don't negotiate basics, I told her. Keep the lever. It's useless without me. Then I turned, walked out with Evan, and didn't look back. Epilogue. It's simple. I rented a townhome 2 miles from the shop with a small patio where the sun hits at 7. I bought a used Jeep I can fix myself. The business got 3 new contracts because my head isn't stuck in a fog anymore. I spend Thursday nights at the gym and Tuesdays learning to cook something that doesn't come in a tray. Marla promoted one of the younger guys, and I can leave the shop for lunch without checking my phone every 5 minutes. A month later, I met someone through Evan's wife. No drama, no ledger, no carrot sticks. I don't run ahead of myself, but she laughs at the solid things and ignores the rest. As for my former wife, I hear the community center misses its power couple. People noticed I wasn't roaming in the background anymore, smiling on cue. The questions piled up, the jokes fell flat, and the committee learned that her "I control him with one thing" line doesn't land when the man isn't there to roll his eyes and carry chairs. She still has her calendars and her friends. What she doesn't have is a man she can manage with rationing. That's not a tragedy. That's just arithmetic. When you turn what should be shared into currency, don't be surprised when the buyer walks.